Hi guys, let's jump right into it. And this was a great month. I would say 31st of May is when I'm recording this video, and we had another double-digit returning trade. And I will just walk you quickly through it. This was the trade on Dow Jones. I'm afraid I missed a much larger trade, but you can't really live with regrets. You can't really live through your fears or especially greed. So this was a very good example of a trade that was taken without any expectations and without any future estimates or anything that could have changed the way I see this trade. In other words, this trade was taken without any bias, and this is the way that any trade should be taken, with no bias, with a concrete plan in action, concrete steps that you need to follow, and you should never leave anything to chance. Even though most of those trades they seem to have been left to chance, and that's why they have reached such big returns. This is not the reality. The reality is basically that there is a strategy behind, there is a process that has been proven with time that works, and this is just one another example that those type of trades that do occur time and time again. This is probably the sixth or seventh double-digit returning trade for this month, and this is exactly how the strategy looks in a real time. So the trade was apart from being a double-digit returning trade, this was a two-day trade. I will just quickly go back in time where the beginning of the trade was, and you can see slightly better what this trade entailed. So let's go back in time, and this was a different trade. I'm afraid I might have missed these trades. Short Dow, yeah. So the trade was open on the 28th of May, and this was the afternoon session, guys. Or this was my afternoon session, but for a lot of you it might have been the morning session, since this was the US Open. This is where the trade was opened. Partial profits, half of the trade was closed here at a risk-free trade, and after that the trade just continued going lower, and it's retested a couple of times. As you will see from this screenshot, this is where the trade was taken. Then the trade almost retested. Actually, it didn't quite went back to the entry. Usually, I've noticed for probably the best trades, we can see the price retesting the entry maybe one or two extra times. It didn't happen this time, so the price went down. Then it's faltered here for a little while after the trade was taken, and then the price went lower, and then again this was the next session. The trade was already raking 1 to 16 risk to reward, and as you can see, again went down, then up again. It went almost to half our profits, and then it went down again, and unfortunately I took profits, as I said, a little bit too early, and at the same time I was running another risk-free trade, which was a DAX trade that I opened during the London session, and I closed this trade as well earlier. So as you can see here, this Nasdaq trade was already giving us 1 to 14, and I moved the stop loss to basically lock 1 to 11. So this actually, in fact, I forgot, this was another double-digit returning trade. It was low double digits. In the end, we took profits here, so I took 1 to 11 on this trade, and I didn't really mention this trade since as I'm mentioning here, worst case scenario was 1 to 11, since I moved down the I trailed the stop to 1 to 11, and this is where I think we were stopped out on this trade, and I closed the Dow trade here, which was at 1 to 20 risk to reward. Order closed, as you can see from this screenshot. This is where I booked the profits, and so in this case, I just wanted to basically wrap up the steps of action I've taken for this trade. No news, no bias, and a double-digit returning trade. What I mean by that, guys, is that there were no news that moved the price at this time. I simply don't trade the news. I don't think that anyone should be trading the news unless you have some sort of an inside information, which I don't. So in this case, first, there were no news. Second, I didn't have any bias. As usual, you should be entering in any trades as a clean slate. You should not be having any bias. So simply, I was following my steps. A trade entered. It was a short trade here. This was my short entry. Then the price went down, hit my first target, which was at 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, enabled the risk-free mode, and from here onwards the price literally was running a risk-free trade. Just one important thing, actually a couple of important things, is when I'm taking a trade, I'm always taking the trades at specific times at the market open, and I'm looking for specific formations that are actually able to minimize my risk on each particular trade. So if you're using another strategy, just be very careful where you're picking your entries, since this might be a game changer. If you don't know how to minimize your profits at the entry, you should probably spend some time on finding a way how to do that. So the first step was basically minimize the potential loss. So I'm using a very tight stop loss. In this case, I think it was around 10 or 11 points. Then second step was right here. So enter in a risk-free trade. This is essential for your comfort, for your psychological detachment, if you wish. In order to be able to run a trade for such a long time, you need to be very, very confident, especially when you start trading with a larger size. You need to have more than one edge on your side. And then factor number 3 was the timestamp elements. This is something that we are using in our day trading program. This is basically specific rules and configurations that are using time as opposed to price in order to reach very lucrative trades and outcomes. And these are the 3 steps that we used to get into this trade. So again, this was 1 out of the 6 or 7 double-digit returning trades for this month. Again, nothing surprising, guys. The only surprises might come from the amount of double-digit returning trades. So, for instance, in some months we might have 3 or 4. In other months, like in May, we had 6 or 7. So it really, really depends on the market environment. There are certain things that you cannot change, and this is one of those things. I can't change the number of double-digit trades I'm having, or I can't predict this, since it is simply unpredictable. It was a huge week, guys. A special congrats to a few of the members that managed to pass a challenge. So we had quite a lot of profitable stories from this week, and for instance, we had someone that's posted 4 of his best trades ever taken by risking only 0.5%, gaining over 13%. Then we had someone who was able to pass their challenge with only 4 trades. That's what this person is saying, and she's sharing some of those trades here. This was one of the trades, and then I think earlier in the chats a couple of the other trades. One of them was particularly striking, that stood out. It was a very highly returning trade. I think this was this was a gold trade that this lady took, and it gave us 1-to-37 risk to reward ratio. And we had quite a few of those success stories this week. It was just a tremendous week. In total, it was a very, very profitable month, guys. So if you're interested, or if you have some questions, or you want to know a little bit more about the way I'm trading, you can always drop me an email at admin@calibritrader.com, or if you want a free pass for 1 or 2 days for the trading room, so you can actually experience and see all of those trades in the making, again, drop me a message below, and I'm happy to give you a free trial for the trading room. Cheers, guys. Bye.